Now we're going to pivot over to our Elevate Your Thinking, Elevate Your Exposure, hashtag Black Girls Rock with Bernadine Waller. Soon to be Dr. Waller, if I'm not mistaken. But she is a New York State licensed therapist, adjunct professor, and PhD candidate at Adelphi University, where she enjoys empowering the mostly female student population to take on the world. So, hi. I think she's here. I think I saw her.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Bernadine. Hi.
Hi, Jess. How are you ladies doing? I have been having such an awesome time between working out and finding out that I love blueberries, but had no idea they helped my brain. So definitely gonna load up on some more blueberries. I hope everybody is excited. Thank you so much again for that lovely introduction. And I hope everybody is super excited about the school year. I'm teaching, and so I have my excitement and my angst. But today's session is really to help all of us really kind of get grounded and become more comfortable with our anxieties and kind of exhaling and getting rid of all of them. And so I actually have a presentation that I am going to begin. If I can just share my screen. Perfect. All right. So I believe that as a Black girl, we all rock. No matter your place and space in life, you totally rock. And so that is what today's session is helping for us to even come to a deeper realization of how awesome we are and amazing we are in our own skin. So, this is a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today, our agenda. We're going to be talking about healing circles, and we're going to go through the process of a healing circle. I'm going to invite you into the circle, and we're going to go through some sharing if we have time, depending on the time. And then we're going to talk about what's next. So, Bernadine, what in the world is a healing circle anyway? It's all about owning and understanding you, who you are, and your place and stake in the world. It's also about acknowledging our past and appreciating the highs and lows of our past. And it's also about appreciating our present, who we are today. And I'm of the firm belief that what you think about yourself is what you become. So today's healing circle is really going to be focused on our thinking and our thoughts, which sounds like it's totally in line with what everyone has been talking about today with our affirmations. It's also about using our thoughts to help us to determine our future. So we're going to start by grounding ourselves, identifying, discarding, loving, and then we're going to move from there, living. And so now I want you to begin grounding yourself. I want everyone to get into a really comfortable place in space. For some of you, you maybe choose to lean back in a chair. For others of you, it may be to be cross-legged on the floor. However it is you ground yourself, I want you to be really comfortable with doing that. And when you ground yourself, I really want you to begin to relax your muscles. We just had an awesome workout. Um, we have also just understood what it is we should be eating. But I want you to either close your eyes or I want you to look on the ground and focus on relaxing. And so, in order to help us to do that, I want each of us to take a nice deep breath. Breathe in through your nose, hold it, hold it. Okay, let it nice and slowly out of your mouth. You're going to breathe in through your nose one more time. Hold it and slowly let the breath go. And I want you to imagine with every single breath you're letting go of all of the stress, all of your anxiety, and all of your worries. So we're going to do that one more time. I want you to breathe in through your nostrils, hold it, and breathe out through your mouth. And so now I want you to take time to imagine yourself. I want you to imagine that you are in a place that is special. And I want you to imagine that you are awesome. I want you to imagine that you are enough. What does that look like? For some of you, imagining what it means to be enough means that you may be discarding some negative thinking. Maybe it was something mean that one of your siblings said to you, or maybe it was something that you saw on social media and you saw somebody who looked perfect or somebody who got a higher grade last semester or last school year, and you wanted to be the it girl. Now I want you to imagine taking that and writing that on a sheet of paper, balling the sheet of paper up, and throwing that in the trash. Maybe you have more things to think about. Maybe you think that you're not perfect. What does perfectionism look like? Maybe you're trying to measure up to a standard that you think somebody around you may have of you. Maybe you think you should be a different height, you should be a different size. Maybe you should have a different look or a different way about you. And I want you to imagine putting that on a sheet of paper also. Maybe that sheet of paper is also filled with something that somebody said to you in Snapchat. Maybe you didn't like it. Maybe they frustrated you and maybe they made you feel bad. And I want you to imagine putting every negative thing that a person has ever said about you and every negative thing that a person has ever done to you. You're putting that on a sheet of paper. And now I want you to imagine that you have a nice clean sheet of paper and understand with everything that life is all about choices. So I want you to imagine taking out another sheet of paper. And on that sheet of paper, you may add some awesome affirmations about who you are, not about who people are saying that you are, but who you are. So maybe one affirmation, maybe I am smart. Another affirmation, maybe I am beautiful. Another affirmation, maybe I can do whatever I want to do when I choose to do it. Another affirmation, maybe I am beautiful and I am awesome just the way I am. I want you to understand that you are accepted, that you are valued, and that you are loved. I want you to imagine that no matter what happens to you this school year, that you are absolutely positively unstoppable because you are. You are enough. And as a matter of fact, you're perfect just the way you are. And for those of you who may be thinking about an imperfection you have, maybe you have a pimple, maybe you have a mole. It's also called a beauty mark. It's all in how you frame who it is that you are. So, although you have imperfections, I want you to understand that you are perfectly imperfect, just like the rest of us. And I also want you to understand that you got drip. That's right, sister girl, you got drip. You are awesome and amazing. And so now, what I want you to do as you're continuing to close your eyes, there is something that I want you to hear. And it's called What If a Black Girl Knew?
What if a black girl knew that she would be desired by others only if she desired herself? That beauty is not a shade but a mindset, and the best indicator of it is self-confidence. As I talk some sense, insert here confidence. What if a black girl knew that her lips were plump and beautiful, that she does not need to hold them in, make them thin, does not need to rely on Kylie Jenner to make her lips an attainable thing? What if a black girl knew that there is no such thing as a perfect nose? Because the nose isn't meant to be perfect, it's meant to help you breathe. And if you can breathe, black girl, you've succeeded. So what if a black girl knew that to be ratchet is a culture defined by the black goddesses whose weave could be any color and whose speech could be any kind of cross from slang to misplaced grammar? Such creativity, so what does it matter? Miley Cyrus does not need to twerk to generate praise for our culture. But what if a black girl knew not to be bitter? That her father, like her sons, were raised by black hands, and you see in your father what you eventually see in your man. For the molding of your father came from similar hands. So if bitter is the sculptor, then how sweet can be the man? If bitter is the black girl, then how sweet can be our clan? What if a black girl knew that her rubies were hidden in the sand? What if a black girl knew that her hair too was like finely refined wool, and now the fiber of her hair was the opposite of cool, but it reflects on the outside, the struggle on the inside, where natural meets the straightness that we take to our hatred, hatred for ourselves that we project upon each other. But what if a black girl knew that history recorded her as the most sought after, that her bosoms were like raindrops that wouldn't dry after, that her body was a magnet to worldwide wonder, and the jealousy was so great that it polluted the perception of a black girl until 1,000 years later? Now what if a black girl knew that she was that same creature that drove slave masters from wicked hate right down to love, but the curves in her figure eight, but that figure $8 billion figures in the bank account of that Coke Bottle Corporation launched by the shape of that same figure eight? Figure out, black girl, figure out. The figures match. The years of social degrading deliver to the black girl's demise. Check your figures, media ratings. 1,000 Caucasians on the red carpet, only 2 black girls make the cut. And they wonder why we can't grow. Let me guess, because there are more dark girls than Lupita Nyong'o. But what if a black girl knew? The life is what you make of it, and opportunities are what you take from it. And there will be no female black president if no black girl wants to become it. What if a black girl knew not to be victim, not to be Pacquiao, but to be Floyd, because this Mayweather leaves sun rays on our lawn? What if a black girl stopped waiting for the defeat to spring from our flaws? What if a black girl knew that she would no longer take the abusive relationship between her and the media, but decided to make wedding bands between her and her mirror? What if a black girl knew that change is possible and greatness is personal? And though it is black girls at the bottom of the social totem pole, pressure makes diamonds. So it's time, black girls, to make your diamonds glow. What if a black girl knew? What if a black girl knew? What if a black girl knew? What if a black girl knew?
So now we have listen to What If a Black Girl Knew. I want you to begin to imagine, now that you know that greatness rests within you, and now that you know that you can be whoever you want to be, and we've taken the time to discard the negative images that we've gotten from social media, from television, from our friends, from our family members, from people who just did not fully understand who we are. I want you to begin to imagine who you're going to be this school year and what awesome things you're going to accomplish this coming year. And I want you to begin to open your eyes. I want to know, would anyone like to share um, either something that they discarded or something that they imagine themselves accomplishing this school year? And so, to give you guys time, give you ladies time to think, I will start by saying I discarded uh, my worry for this school year, that in questioning whether or not I would be a good enough professor to my students. And what I envisioned writing down was that all of my students learned what they could have learned and they maxed their whole potential. And so that's what I discarded, and that's what I wrote down. I'm trying to see, do we have any hands that are raised or anyone who wants to share? And so I found What If a Black Girl Knew on YouTube. It was written by one of our sisters from Africa, from the motherland. And that was something that really resonated for me, as a woman who's continuing to evolve, and as young ladies who will be evolving, and we're all in a place of evolution. And every once in a while, I'll listen to that because it speaks to me in different ways. Because when we're all learning, we're all growing, and we all have messages that are bombarding us from all different places. We see models who may not look like us. We see people who are stars who may not think like us, who may not act like us. The news is perpetuating a bunch of negative images, oftentimes that are about us. And I want you to know, when you leave this session today, that you can be absolutely anyone you want to be. So I want you to think of women like Kamala Harris. I want you to think of women like Michelle Obama, our forever first lady, right? Kamala Harris is who she is because she believes she could be whoever and whatever she wanted to be. She could accomplish whatever she wanted to accomplish. And so I want you to go into this school year knowing that the sky is the limit and you are only as great as you think you are. And so the affirmation that you've been given, the time we took in this session to discard negativity, I want you to take these exercises and bring them with you as you move forward. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you so much, ladies, for having me with Girlz Talk. And I'm going to turn it back over to Jessica.
Yes, thank you so much. That was great. Very soothing and calming. This is what Regina said. Bianna said that she discarded people-pleasing behavior, which is a big thing. So definitely glad that you were able to accomplish that. Everyone was just saying how amazing it was and that they're thankful for that moment. I think that that poem was really, really beautiful, that spoken word. So thank you for sharing that with us. That was incredible.
You're
So thank
welcome.
you.
And I'm going to put the link to that in the
Perfect.
chat so that if anyone wants to listen to it after I am gone, or if you need to remember it and do like I
Right.
do, revisit it every once in a while, you are more than welcome to listen to
Yeah.
that because there's so many things we could always learn and know.
It definitely will take advantage of that. So thank you so much for spending time with us. We really appreciate it. That was great. Good luck this semester.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks.
You're done though, but thank you.
I am done, but